evening. With me tonight, we have one very special man. There's no Peter A. Allison with us tonight, but there is a Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Hey, good to see you, Matt. Good to see you.
You too, man. It's been a while since it's just been me and thee. So it's just we have no guest. We've got no Pete. He's recovering from Sci-Fi Weekender. So yeah, it's just going to be us. So, Jon Jo, what have you been up to? What's been going on?
Oh, do you know what? It's been it was one of the things I actually had to realise earlier. It's already nearly 3 months of the year gone. It's been a strange few months in many aspects, including under personal circumstances as well. But not going to bring the tone down. We're gonna talk about geeky shit because that's what we do. That's who we are. But do you know what? One of the things that I thought we should start off with, and I think it's quite a big thing now, especially with how the medium has seen a lot of ups and downs, especially the last few years. The superhero genre.
Ooh, interesting.
So I've got a few things to go on the superhero genre tonight. So I've got some highs, I've got some lows, and it's all to do with 2025, baby. So we're going to keep it 2025 all the way through. So first thing, as it has just wrapped up in the last week or so, have you seen Invincible season 3?
No, you know what? It's been on my list to do. Now, I didn't realize I got to the first half of season 2 and then completely forgot about it, and so I'm just catching up on season 2 now. So I'm at the bit where Rex has been shot in the head. And it's just, I think it's like the episode after that and stuff. So I'm but yeah, Invincible's hot. Like, I have no idea why. I think it's just because my missus, as much as she's into anime and stuff like that, but she doesn't, well, she says she doesn't like Invincible, and I don't get it because there's similarities in the styles and stuff. Bearing in mind, I just watched 2 seasons of an anime with her called Level Up. Is it called Level Up? No, is it called crap, what's it called? Something leveling. Solo leveling. It's called Solo Levelings, yeah. Which is and it's basically about a guy who there's like monsters and stuff, and they do like it's all like an MMORPG but in real life, and they go on raids and they all have specific hunters who do specific things, and this guy levels up because he's got to have this interface where he can go stronger. He starts off very crap and then gets better as it goes along. And I'm not a huge anime sort of guy because it gets a bit over the top. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. But anyway, segueing back to Invincible, yeah, I thought she'd be really into it. I thought she'd really like it. But yeah, it just doesn't seem to, do much for her and stuff. So.
Well, the thing is, my partner's not into practically 90% of the things I watch. She'll anything superhero wise, and I swear sometimes I don't know if it's like she just never really had an interest in it, but every time, even if it's an MCU film or anything like that, anything superhero, she always goes cartoons. She just goes, "Why are you watching cartoons?" And which I think like the first 3 or 4 times I thought it was funny, but then I said like I'd go, oh, I'm going to watch such and such film later. She goes, "Oh, another cartoon." No, it's not a cartoon. And then was it when the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse come out, and I was about to do my automatic answer, it's not a cartoon. I was like, no, actually you're right, this time it is a cartoon. Never mind. But no, do you know what I mean? Invincible, I'm not going to spoil it, because the thing is, compared to a lot of superhero stuff, I never read the Invincible comics, but I've got to say, especially the second half of season 3, that was just some of the most incredible stuff I've ever seen put to animation.
Yeah, I've heard it's been getting rave reviews. It's been getting really good. And to be fair, both seasons are really good. Like it's not, it's over the top, but it's like The Boys, but in cartoon form in a way with lots more superheroes and stuff. And yeah, like I'm really enjoying it, and I don't know why I didn't sort of catch up with it. I just sort of lost, my mind. There's lots of stuff I need to catch up on, but yeah,
it's been good. the final episode in particular, I mean, even like the final 2 episodes of the season, seriously, episode 7 could have been a season finale on its own. It was just such a grand big episode, very marvelly, let's just say that.
Okay.
And then episode 8 just goes, yeah, how do we top that? Yeah, we fucking top that, don't we? It's, I don't know if it's so much a spoiler because it's been all on the news pages and everything, but the appearance of a certain Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
All right, yeah.
Which for any Walking Dead fan knows, Jeffrey Dean Morgan coming face to face with Stephen Young, who plays Invincible. Oh, that is just something that a lot of nerds, geeks, all the fanboys of The Walking Dead, Invincible, and everything of Robert Kirkman was like, yeah, this is good.
Is there a reference to it? Do they make any sort of kind of like
do you know what? I think there is a offhand reference, not between that for anyone who has seen because I read the Walking Dead comics pretty much as the show was going on, and I caught up with the comics and read ahead. In the books, Negan kills Glenn with his baseball bat, Lucille, and in the TV series they sort of do it a little bit different. They sort of tease that someone dies in the season 7 opener, but it turns out it's Abraham that gets killed. But then just all of a sudden, halfway through the episode, Negan turns around and just smashes his baseball bat into Glenn, and that's the end of that character. But it was one of the things to see these two characters, like see these two actors, back face to face. It's quite a moment. It's one of the things that when you think of like castings and how perfectly they go well, like how much they work together, I can't really think of too many times that you're going to look at two actors face to face and you're going to go, yeah, that's good. That's a good lineup. It's but I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm really trying not to.
Well, the thing is, it's like in one of the episodes I watched, he goes to what's it called? It's a Seance Dog, or what's the name of the?
Oh yeah, Seance Dog. Yeah, he goes to the convention.
Yeah, and he's talking to the guy at the convention. He does the comics, and he goes through that, because it takes so long to animate voices and things like that. Sometimes they do things, and what he was saying was happening. In the thing
goes, they cover the mouse sometimes the animation.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they do a shot from a long way away.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even move the image; they just zoom in to make it look like the picture's moving. It's like, I thought that was great, and I thought, God, that must have saved about a month's worth of animation just doing that as well. Really,
that was really good. So all in all, it's good.
But Joel, Invincible has been brilliant. So that's probably on the high side of superheroes for this year in particular. Anyway, I don't think because
what did you think of Strange New World?
Strange New World, Brave New World,
Strange New World.
I was going to say Strange New World. That's a Star Trek.
That's going to Strange New World. Brave New World. Yeah.
Joe, what I said it as soon as I watched it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. As a fan of the Incredible Hulk, I did enjoy. There was a fair bit of like comeback to that, but I don't know. I liked it. I thought 7 out of 10 for that film, but it felt like there was a good few things missing. It did feel like there was you could definitely see where the film had been reshot so much, where they'd obviously put in new scenes, they'd changed things around that probably didn't work on the original edit or just didn't gel well. There is definitely some cuts where you can definitely see, that was shot in that year, but this was shot closer to the time. And I think there's some where they're now trying to wrap this up now to the Avengers film coming out next year. I feel like they could have done a bit more to maybe tease the Avengers, because they do the whole thing of General Ross going, not General Ross, he's President Ross now. I want you to rebuild the Avengers. It's okay, that's good. Do we see any Avengers? Do we? Fuck, we don't see any of them really. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think the problem was, as what happens with a lot of superhero marketing, probably their best thing they spoil in the trailers. The fight between Captain America and Red Hulk I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, and it was one of the things that a friend of mine, when we went to go and watch it, he said to me, how the hell does a man fight a Red Hulk? And I said, he doesn't. He has to be defensive. He has to try and find a way to jump back and attack where he can. He can't just go head on, because if he goes head on with Hulk, he'll be dead.
Yeah.
He's one punch and that's it. He's gone. And you got to remember as well is that this is a character who's got a lot of technology. He's very aerodynamic. He's got a lot of agility to himself. I think that was probably the highlight for me. I really enjoyed that. And in all fairness, I actually quite enjoyed the leader as well.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried how they were going to play him off, but they did use his intelligence quite a lot. There was a lot more probability than actual knowledge being used. So there was a lot of this stuff like, he said there was a 76% chance I'd meet you here. It's like, what? That's a stupid line. But anyway, but yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it. But talking about Marvel, because that we are currently on our third of 9 Marvel projects this year. There are 9 MCU projects that are happening. So we had Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which came on at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Which I quite liked. I thought it was quite fun. Probably not the best animated Spider-Man, but still good. Some good ideas. Some nice, obviously, like MCU adjacent stuff. And then Captain America. And now we are about halfway through Daredevil Born Again, which I'm really enjoying. I think it's really good.
Another one I've not sort of started watching yet. I know.
So I've got to be so careful everything I say now.
I know, I'm not. It's like, I don't know. I've just been like all kinds of other stuff going on, so I haven't caught up and so. But again, it's on my list of things to watch. I started sitting down watching Invincible, Daredevil. It's like I'll stick that on, and then my missus is like, "Oh, can we watch like Peaky Blinders, or can we watch this?" I'm like, "Oh."
Nah, that's fine. I mean, Daredevil's got a fair bit to go, but this is the thing. That is the third of 9 MCU projects, which I've actually got listed down. So we started with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Captain America: Brave New World. We're in Daredevil Born Again at the moment. Next is Thunderbolts coming out on the 2nd of May.
I saw the trailer for that, and actually looks quite good.
I like the look of it. And I actually thought this kind of looks like what Suicide Squad should have been.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a ragtag collection of well, not so much villains in this case, but not or even like a grounded version of Legends of Tomorrow almost, because it's almost like the B-list characters that were featured in other projects. It's like they're gonna headline their thing, and but then it's also got the character of Sentry as well, who I think it's gonna steal the show.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. And then we've got Ironheart, which has it's been shot and apparently been just resting for like over 2 years, waiting to be released. So that's
odd. Why would they keep it for so long?
Because this is when Disney Plus had this oversaturation of shows. If you remember in 2021, which was a lot of things obviously got delayed because of COVID. You had 5 Disney Plus shows. You also had 4 MCU movies that year. So that's a lot of Marvel to go through. And then in 2022, there was another 3 films, another 3 TV shows, plus 2 special presentations. And then after that, I think that's when Marvel went, maybe we should think of quality over quantity. And then probably one of their biggest misfires being Secret Invasion, which I just did not like that.
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't definitely not their best work.
No, the final episode in particular I thought was just a big slap in the face. It was just like, we're just going to throw a budget at this last episode. Yeah, does it make sense? Nah, but we've done it. We've completed it. That's fine. But Ironheart is one of these things that it was. So the shooting for Ironheart apparently was done towards the middle to end of 2022. So Ironheart, aka Riri Williams, was in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So her show was meant to come on around about a year later. So the characters had a bit of introduction, and then does her bit in the MCU. There's been a few reasons why it got delayed. One being that because of the show being quite special effects heavy, they wanted to make sure there was time with the special effects. Another one being that some people were saying that the show was almost unwatchable because of the content that had been made.
Yeah.
Another, I think that was also said about Echo as well, and Echo actually didn't turn out too bad when that was finally released. But yeah, I'm a little bit, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but you can definitely tell that this was a show that should have been at quite a while ago. But there could be some hidden treasures in this. In particular, a couple of the villains who are meant to appear, including the Hood and apparently Mephisto.
Oh, interesting.
If Mephisto does actually happen, and apparently will be cast has been cast Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, interesting. That is interesting.
We'll see.
Do you reckon, are we going to get a new Moon Knight, or is that being sort of...
Well, that's another... I mean, we could...
Oh.
About this, the MCU with the R-rated, more supernatural material. But all I'll say is, going to the rest of 2025, so obviously that's 5 projects already, and then we've got Fantastic Four, which I think is probably the biggest part of Marvel's machine this year.
Please be good. Please be good.
That's got to be good. All I'll say is, from that first trailer, I went away from that thinking, I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a fan of the Fantastic Fours. One with Chris Evans in it as the Human Torch. I didn't really like those. I didn't like the remakes that came out afterwards either. So I'm kind of hoping it'll be something.
Yeah, I think what I like about it is that this actually looks like it's torn straight out of the comics. In particular, the Thing looks fantastic in this part. Yeah, I think they're holding back a lot from that trailer. You got to think this is going to be, at the moment, unless anything is secretly being filmed and we don't know about it, Fantastic Four will be the last MCU film before the Avengers Doomsday.
That's going to be hopefully very special.
Well, going to talk about Doomsday as well in a little while, because there was a certain leak, or
was there?
There was, which I will come around to in a bit. But Fantastic Four, I think, as I said, I think this is Marvel's biggest project of the year. I think this is the one that is going to really cement that link between what we've had for the MCU phases so far going into Avengers. This is going to be the one vital story that takes us from A to B. And I honestly think they are holding back a lot, including, and I really hope this is true, I really hope that Doctor Doom, who we know is going to be Robert Downey Jr., I hope he has got a big part in this movie, because they really need to establish him as a character before they give him the arc of, Avengers 5 and 6. Yeah. They need to really establish that part. Don't get me wrong, I don't doubt that they're going to do a good job with it anyway, but it'd be good if you could have some of the rivalry between him and Reed Richards, that you can really, build up. This.
Do you think he is? I can't remember. My comic book knowledge isn't great, but there's a comic book where isn't him and Tony Stark sort of switch places.
There is a body swap thing, yeah,
or something, and it's actually Tony Stark as Doom, and then there's something else happens again. The comic books I haven't read. I just sort of saw a piece on it and saying that could be one of the angles they go up.
I mean, the one way that you could go with it is there is coincidence. If you think about it, we've had Chris Evans as both Johnny Storm and Captain America, and that's even referenced in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, they could just say, oh, he's got the same face as Tony Stark, which is, I think that's going to play a big part in the Avengers. I think that's going to be, because there's going to be this whole idea that Doctor Doom is going to come in. He's going to be seen as the savior of the multiverse. He's going to be the person who's going to stop the big problem. And it turns out, no, he's not going to stop big problem. He's now going to try and rule the world for his own. He's going to save what he can, but he's going to be this ultimate ruler of Battle World, which, like I say, I'm going to talk about Avengers Doomsday in a bit because there is some big stuff from that.
Tease.
Yeah. So in terms of MCU for the rest of the year, we've also got another 3 shows for Disney Plus. So you've got Eyes of Wakanda, which is a 4-part animated series.
Okay.
Supposed to be about the history of Wakanda. Marvel Zombies, which is a spin-off from the What If Marvel Zombies episode, which is kind of embarrassing because apparently one of the lead characters is going to be Blade, and he's not even been properly introduced to the MCU yet. So that's going to be fun. But we'll see if that is still the case. And then finally, coming in December, is Wonder Man, a Marvel TV show that for ages Marvel didn't even acknowledge was being filmed, having anything done with it. And then all of a sudden they just done this presentation where they said, yep, this is everything, it's coming out 2025, and it was just right at the end there. So I thought what we could do a little something now, and then we could come back to this towards the end of the year. So one thing that we do notice now, and it does, whichever way you look at it, it does affect, I think, a lot of the audience for any of these projects. It's how they are rated amongst critics, in particular the Rotten Tomato score.
All right. Yes.
Now,
the infamous Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah. So out of all 9 of these projects, I want us both to have a guess at what we think will be once it gets to the end of the year, what will be the highest rated project and what will be the lowest rated.
Ooh.
So I'm going to say, out of all these, I honestly feel if they do it right, I think Fantastic Four is going to be the highest rated. The only reason I say that is because I think they've taken a lot of time with this project. I think they've put a lot of effort into making sure they've got the right cast. They've got guys that are going to, they're going to go not just into this film, but they're going to go straight to Avengers 5 and 6 as well. They've got to have a cast that are going to be tight with each other. They're going to be able to just bounce off each other perfectly. And, effectively, they're going to be leading the film with, characters like Doctor Strange as Spider-Man and whoever else of the 60-odd characters that Marvel are going to be playing into their movies. That's what I think will be the highest rated. And if I was to have a guess what the lowest rated will be, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be the Ironheart series, because I think it's one of them ones that's just been delayed for so long, and it's one of them things. I don't think they've really shot anything else for it. I don't think they've really done much more material. I think they're going to do kind of like what they did with Echo. They're going to take what they've got. They'll probably condense it down a little bit to what they had. Try and make maybe make the story a bit more streamlined. They might cut a few bits here and there. And I don't think it's going to be necessarily bad, but I think it's going to be, out of all the projects for the year, I think it's going to be the lowest.
Yeah, I think, you have to go for Fantastic Four for the top of the,
Yeah.
I don't think, any of those things you've mentioned are going to come close, unless they just go by, Fantastic Four films in the past and it's pure garbage. But, yeah, that, and again, yeah, when you said the lowest, that was one I was thinking of as well. I thought I'd have to agree that it's not a character I'm really that interested in either. And like you said, if it's been delayed for so long, then we could be.
That's what I'm saying.
If we could be pleasantly surprised, yeah, we'd be pleasantly surprised that it could be, and you've got some of those sort of series and stuff that may not go down too well, but yeah, I think I think you're probably right. I think those are probably where you're going to be. Yeah.
So that's it. So we're in agreement on both sides then.
Yeah, we are indeed. Yep.
Okay, well that goes to competition aspect of that. But anyway, that's fine. But yeah, I think I honestly think I think Ironheart comes out towards the end of June, and then Fantastic Four is out towards the end of July. So yeah, we'll find out pretty quickly how them two do. But yeah,
I'm hoping hoping Thunderbolts will be
I think it's
high.
gonna be I think that's going to be rated high. It's the box office that worries me for it, because when you got a name like Captain America that, it didn't do overly bad, but $400 million compared to Civil War that made over $1 billion, or Winter Soldier that made over $700 million. It's it's a little bit, but then I don't know, I think the fatigue is still there. Certain projects are generating better buzz than others, but maybe Thunderbolts does surprise people. But yeah, so as I have teased, Avengers Doomsday. So a few weeks ago there was some photos that got leaked online, concept art, if you will, of supposedly from the film. Now I'm going to assume, have you not seen these photos?
No, but can I Google them and then have a look? Whereabouts?
You can Google them, or if not, I'm sure I could probably find some to send over to you.
Doomsday Leaks. Here we go. Doomsday Leaks.
I see, you got it already. So, in these photos, and probably
I have seen these. I have seen these.
So all I'll say is, just from the look of Doctor Doom, I just straight away went, "Yep, Joe, what? I'm so in. This is what I wanted to see," and especially with the Secret Wars comic, I really enjoyed Secret Wars. It's one of them, probably within my top 3 Marvel books of all time. There's a lot going on, and a lot of it does anchor around Doctor Doom and Reed Richards. And if they can pull this off, I think we've probably got the makings of the best Avengers film, and that's saying something considering how much I enjoyed Endgame. But
yeah, I'm looking. I'm just skipping through the concept art. There was a lot. I saw a video actually that was sort of going through the court where there's loads of people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
there's lots of references there. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what they all are.
Well, I can go for it. So you've got Doctor Doom, or God Emperor Doom, as he's known at that point. He's sitting on his throne. He's got Sue Storm and I believe it's supposed to be Franklin Richards by his side. It's supposed to be Reed Richards on the floor in chains with Yelena Belova watching over him. And who is Doctor Doom's general and right-hand man? It is Stephen Strange.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So anyone who's not too familiar with the Secret Wars comic, obviously I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, because I don't know anything about the film. I don't have access to that sort of stuff. But in the comics, Doctor Doom pretty much comes up with the idea that he's going to try and save the world from incursions, and one of the people he gets to help him in all this is Doctor Strange. During the creation of Battleworld, Doctor Doom pretty much wipes the memory of every person who's there. So Battleworld consists of many different parts of different universes just clobbered up into one world. So you've got like a Hulk world, you've got remnants of the 616 universe, you've got remnants of there's a fair few places. There's an alternative Wakanda. There's many different areas, many different aspects. One thing that does get pointed out is that concept art is not a confirmation of anything that's going to be in the film. They are for guidance normally. They are for helping set a scene when production gets done, especially for background artists, for all the costume designers. But even if just half of these images were to come to life, my God, it's going to be good. But there's also the question of, There's a lot they need to do to really, fit that into 2.5 hour film. And if there's going to be such little setup, there is a little bit of concern how they're going to put this all together. But I'm looking forward to it. I think they're going to do a good job. I'm still a little bit, I don't know. I think Marvel is still playing it fairly safe by having the Russo brothers back. I'm glad they are, because they've made some fantastic films for Marvel. Their track record since leaving the MCU has not been great. Let's be fair, but I think it's gonna be good. I think we're gonna get some good films. If and the idea is between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, there's going to be at least 2 or 3 films in between, and they're all apparently going to be set on battle world.
Oh, interesting. It'll be interesting.
If you've paid supposedly over $100 million for Robert Downey Jr., you're going to put him in as much as you can to make sure you get your money's worth out of that guy. So I can imagine he's just there. He's probably got his permanent mansion on site. He just, every now and again, they just say, right, can you put the costume on? We've got a couple of scenes for you. He'll be like, yep, that's fine. And every step he takes, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. But he must be counting it like that. It must get to a point. When does an actor just think, do I really need this money anymore?
Yeah, well, that's
make you wonder.
You do get sort of their own passion projects where they'll just not take a lot of money, or they'll help back it and stuff because it's something they want to do.
Yeah.
I get the impression that he obviously wants to come back. He'll get good money out of it, but I think he's so well known for being Iron Man that coming back as a bad guy, and Doctor Doom no less, is a big sort of like thing, and it's going to keep his name going for a long time, so hopefully it doesn't overshadow his
let's be fair, Robert Downey Jr. is Marvel's Cinematic Universe. He's the guy who led it from the very beginning all the way to Endgame. It's always his name first on the credits. I think from a business stance that made sense. You were always going to bring back your biggest name. You always had to have your biggest star. I've had a few theories on how it's all going to work. I still think we're going to have an OG Iron Man appearance as well in some way, because I don't think you'd pay all that money, bring back Robert Downey Jr. to not have Iron Man feature in some way or another.
Agreed. Yeah,
it'll happen.
Agreed.
But so May 2026 for Avengers Doomsday. So we are still over a year away. Filming starts this week on Avengers Doomsday. Apparently so much of the special effects and animatics have already been done and put in. So whereas a lot of films would normally be shooting and then special effects put in afterwards. Apparently this is how Marvel are doing it, and some other companies do it now. They're starting the special effects so much in advance, so then they are shooting around the special effects, which is probably a good way to do it to save time. And if you think it's just over a year before this film's supposed to come out, they need to do a hell of a lot of work to get that up and ready.
Interesting.
But we shall see. Oh
yeah. All right, so that's your Marvel thing. No, I went to the cinema recently, Jon Jo, and I saw a film that I had never heard of, and I didn't even know if I was going to like, but because I just wanted to have a bit of a cinema trip with my chums. It was called Black Bag. Have you seen it?
Oh, okay. I've heard about this, but I don't know much about it. I know it's supposed to be some kind of spy thing, or some.
It is. And I something like when I went to say, I said, so what are we going to see? Black Bag? I said, what's it like? And they're like, it's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but not comedy and stuff. And I was just like, okay. It's got it's got Kate Blanchett and it's got Michael Fassbender in it. They work for SIS, so like MI6, MI5, MI6, SIS, British sort of secret intelligence service. It's got who's the fella? He plays the Paladin. He's the Paladin in the Dungeons and Dragons film. He's also in the Bridget.
and it like Reggie Jean Page or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. He's in it, and there's but it's like I wasn't going in expecting anything because I was just like, but it's got this really old school sort of kind of 70s style spy feeling to it in a way with the even with the music and stuff. It's what's his name? He did Oceans. He did Oceans. All the Oceans films. Who's the director? You'll know it.
Oh,
Oceans.
Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, Soderbergh. Soderbergh.
Yeah.
It's a Soderbergh film. So you get that vibe. You've got that sort of music. As soon as somebody said, "Oh, it's a Soderbergh film," and it's like, the music makes sense now. So you've got that thing, but it's really good because Fassbender's got this sort of kind of he's a spy and he knows a lot. And his wife, Kate Blanchett, is also a spy. They're married. They have this sort of kind of weird relationship, and there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all condensed into like two sort of dinner parties and a few bits and a few bits sort of in other places. There's not a lot of set, like there's a bit like one of them's a what's her name, the actress who was in 28 Days Later,
Naomi Harris.
Yeah, so she's in it, and then she's like a psychologist because all of them are broken, and they're all sort of got a lot of stuff going on and stuff, and they're all really sort of like Fassbender's ever so slightly autistic in a sort of, or at least he's on the spectrum, the way he acts and stuff like that, you can tell. And there's a lot of stuff, and but the thing is, it's mostly conversation and talking. There's a little bit of sort of CGI, like sort of explosions and stuff, but it's so good. Like it keeps you guessing the whole way through because you think I've got this tagged and know what's going on, and you don't. And it goes so well. The whole thing was, just impressive. It's got Pierce Brosnan in it as well. Pierce Brosnan's in it as well. So yeah, definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. I really enjoyed it.
Sounds very Hitchcock-like as well when you say about all set around like a dinner party and things like that.
It's got that.
I like stuff like that because it feels different. It feels different to the just like shoot everything, try and do quips in between. It's like
there is like, don't get me wrong, there's some like it's not action packed. There is sort of like people get killed in it and stuff, but it's very sort of methodical, and it's more about him working out what's happening, and then I'll not ruin it for you because there's lots of stuff going on, and there is very much a whodunit sort of thing in there, and it sort of throws you in one direction and then you sort of go into another direction and you don't know what's going on, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't like, I came out of it just kind of going, that was really good. Like I wasn't expecting much, came out of it going, I really enjoyed that. It was really good.
I like a cinema trip like that. So I've done a cinema trip recently. I've got to give this a little bit of context. So me and my girlfriend, we sort of alternate between who picks the film for that night. So I've got to give it a tiny bit of background. So we went to the cinema just after New Year. I sadly had lost my grandmother on New Year's Day. So I think this was like my partner's idea of saying, let's go out and do something, just take your mind off of things. So it was her time to pick the film. So she picked the film We Live in Time, which if anyone has seen it, it's not a happy film by any means. It's very there is some comedy bits to it, but it is like quite sad, quite depressing. And I just remember throughout that film about 5 or 6 times, my girlfriend looked over me and just said, "I'm really sorry." Joe, I couldn't help but laugh. I was because I was like, do you know what? For all the things you could say, we're gonna go and do something to cheer you up. Yes, we're gonna watch this film about lives being torn apart by life as it is and shitty cancer and all this. It's like okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she honestly felt bad, but I couldn't stop laughing because I was just like, well, in a way, you have cheered me up. But
yeah.
So anyway, it was my time for a film, and I saw And I was not interested at first. Now I saw the last trailer for it, and I was like, I want to give this a go. We watched Mickey 17.
Oh, I've heard, right, I haven't seen it, but my friends went to see it, and I've had two completely conflicting versions of it. One person said it was dog shit, he hated it, and then my other mate said it was really good. If you get it, you understand what's going on. So, where do you sit?
I'm in the camp of I really enjoyed it.
Right.
I like the humor because it is in some ways quite absurd. It's a little bit out there. I am someone who has really enjoyed Robert Pattinson in the last 5 years. He has done some great stuff. If you've seen The Lighthouse, that is a fantastic piece he's done. The Batman, I really
awesome.
enjoy him in
really
the Batman.
Good.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like him in the part, but I think he done that really well.
I think he did.
And surprisingly, he does do comedy really well in Mickey 17. It's a bit strange. It does take a little while for you to understand the premise, but once the idea gets settled in, because he's known as an expendable, so whenever he dies, another version of him is then printed out from this machine. It's got all his memories, it's got all his faults, but every time he sort of comes back a little bit different, and it was good. I really thought it was a lot of fun. It was quite witty in places. There were some very, very obscure characters throughout the movie. In particular, Tony Collette and Mark Ruffalo are in the film,
Okay, right.
and they play like this eccentric married couple that are very, intimate but very public about what they're doing, and almost cult-like in how they talk to the crew of this ship. But they're absolutely brilliant. It's so funny what they do, and the film as well goes in some very strange directions, especially when there's one bit when like Mickey's he's trying to get back to his room, but then all of a sudden he gets pulled away to this dinner party. And the reason they do it is because he's expendable. They're going to try and see if he can survive a certain thing. And it's like it's just strange how it all just happens all of a sudden. And then and there's just some, like I say, it's just a great cast throughout. There's because I never read the book as well, I didn't really know much about the story itself, but the world that they're on is very, very strange. There's some weird alien stuff that goes on, which is very not what I was expecting. But overall, I thought it was good. It was really funny. There's a lot of memorable stuff throughout that film that I just enjoyed. And as I say, Robert Pattinson for me is becoming quite fast. I think he's becoming one of my favorite actors just because he is showing a lot of versatility. He can do some very different parts. But yeah, it's again, it's all these things. It's really hard to talk about without actually spoiling much about them. But I honestly feel out of all the things I've seen in the cinema this year, that is definitely the best thing I've seen at the pictures.
Is it? So again, the guy who did like it, Mike, he said, whatever your preconception of what it is and what it's going to be about is going to be completely shattered because you don't expect. If you go in it, you're expecting one thing, you're not going to get that. It's completely different.
I was expecting it was going to be a bit of like this weird, like, unusual, like buddy story and things like that. I thought it was going to be, because you see it in the trailer that there's two versions of Mickey that interact. I thought it was going to be like a very like buddy comedy kind of thing. I thought it was going to be bumbling idiots, like, trying to get through things. It really wasn't. There was some weird tangents that the story takes. There is a very, very weird scene between the two Mickeys and like Mickey's girlfriend, which I'm not going to spoil it, but it's so funny, but it's so strange at the same time. Yeah, it's one of them films that I was not expecting. I don't think I expected it to be like 90% of that film. I was not expecting to see on the screen, but I'm glad I watched it because, as I say, it's probably one of the better films I've seen this year. Definitely the best film I've seen in the cinema this year. So good comedy in certain places. Special effects as well are really, really good. The film does look amazing from beginning to end. Yeah, and if you're good with a little bit of death here and there, and seeing Robert Pattinson being shot out of a basically like a 3D printer every now and again, I recommend it. It's
cool.
good.
Nice. All right. Okay. I'll watch it. Yeah.
I will have to watch your one as well
Black
at some
Bag,
point
yeah,
as well.
definitely,
Black Bag, yeah.
Yeah, definitely really good. Definitely good.
So as I've probably not mentioned it too much. I'm a massive fan of one of my favorite cartoons growing up was Batman the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, one of the biggest when a certain actor or someone of note passes, it kind of affects you a little bit. The passing of Kevin Conroy, who was Batman in the animated series, still for me is one of them ones that really did choke me up, because if I ever read a Batman comic, that's the voice that I hear in my head. It's always Kevin Conroy. So it's been just over 2 years since he passed away, but it has been announced that there's a Devil May Cry series coming on Netflix from the 3rd of April, and it is said to be his final voiceover work in the show, which I was not expecting at all. I honestly thought everything of him was done, because
his final Batman was in the Suicide Squad game.
No. We all thought it was.
Oh, okay.
But he had one more little thing. Because they done a trilogy of animated films for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he had one scene in the 3rd part of it, and it was done in the original 1990s Batman animation as well. And it's just I can't remember it word for word, but he's fighting with Joker on the rooftop. And he goes, "I care, Joker, about this city, about Gotham, but most of all, about being Batman." And I was like, that's such a fucking good way to go out. And I thought, if that's his final Batman line, I was like, it was like one of the things I almost like getting choked up. I was like, that's the ending I wanted. I didn't want, him being brainwashed in Suicide Squad. I just wanted to. It's like, that was good. And also, just a little side note, Devil May Cry, the main theme tune to it is Rolling by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, God, so good.
So, why not?
They played Manchester recently, so all my friends went to see it. So
I've seen Limp Bizkit a couple of times, and it's one of them shows that I don't know if I could really recommend it, but there's very few concerts that are like Limp Bizkit. It's a very different experience.
I saw them way back in 2002, 2003 or something at Reading Festival.
Oh, wow.
I think, like a very long time ago. But
yeah, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, do you know what? One thing I know we've I can't remember if it was the last podcast we was on or might have been before that. We were mentioning a little bit about Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
In particular, Death Stranding, which was still probably one of my favorite games. Death Stranding 2 is only a couple of months, 3 months away, coming out on the 26th of June. I cannot wait for this game. I don't know what the fuck is going on with it, same as I didn't know what the hell was going on in the first one, but I'm so intrigued. I really can't wait to play it. And even funnier, Kojima's bringing this out before the Snake Eater remake comes out in August. almost like a big middle finger to Konami. Like, yep, here you go. I can get my projects out on time. You can't. You. But if anyone has had the chance to play Death Stranding, it's pretty much, this is Kojima just unhinged. He's got no restrictions. There is nothing, no studio mandate, because this is all his own project. It's completely insane, and I don't know, the game kind of took on a new life, especially once COVID hit, because a lot of us were separated. We couldn't do things, we couldn't interact with each other, and that is what the game is about. It's about reconnecting a world that has become divided. And there's people calling it a walking simulator, which in some aspects there was, but there is a point when it gets to a mission and you think, I've been walking over this fucking field for 50 minutes now. Where is the Oh, there is seriously. Once you get to vehicles in that game, it makes it so much easier. But I just remember playing it. I honestly did. I think the first time I played it, I honestly did fall asleep, like just like with the character walking forward. And I'm sure when I woke up, I still hadn't actually made it to where I was going. But it was incredible. I can't wait for this new one because, as I said, I don't know what the hell is going on with it. I can't wait to explore it. It's there's very few video games that I honestly feel excitement for now. There's honestly very few that I really feel I have to play on a day one basis. But this is definitely my day one game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking about video games now, it's a segue back into the series. Yep. But I watched the Halo series because it's on Netflix. It's on the Netflix. It's on the Netflix. It's on Netflix now. Now I didn't watch it when it first came out because I didn't have Paramount Plus, and so I was like, I'll just leave it. And then some people were telling me, yeah, it's not like the games in any way, shape, or form. And some people were liking it, some people weren't. Some of my friends who are massive Halo fans, like myself, were not overly keen on it. So I went, all right. I wasn't losing anything, and it's not going to ruin my feeling about Halo. So, but I watched it, and it has very little connection to the game, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm actually looking forward to second season and then maybe Netflix picking it up because obviously it got cancelled on Prime, but it's not Paramount Plus even. Sorry, but it's really good. Like, he takes his helmet off, which is a big sort of no-no. Well, not like he does, but you see his face, and he spends a lot of his time out of his armor, and you know, he even sort of he even has sex and stuff. But it's like it's all not very John Spartan. But there are little nods to the games, like even the way the guns sound, and there's certain things, like certain when they take the overshield and all these. So there are nods to the game. It's just canonically not based in the same sort of world as, like, they're on Reach and things like that, but it's not the same sort of thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. So and even my missus watched it. So it was like she's not into that sort of thing at all, but she started kind of watching it and was asking questions about it and stuff. So she liked it. Then yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I think, I mean, I've got to say, I didn't hate the Halo series at all. I've not watched season 2. I will say that I did get through season 1, and I think the first episode I really liked because there was a good bit of action in it, and it did look like, especially like that first 10-15 minutes, it looked so much like the game. And then when it got to this whole like mystery side of it, it was like, I'm not too sure how I feel about this going forward. But then I think because then once I started thinking, it's not copying the game, it's trying to do its own thing, it's trying to make its own identity. I thought, okay, well, look, if Halo had come out as a film, I think I would have expected a bit more like one-to-one with the game. But because it's a series, you've got to find ways to expand on the story. You've got to find ways to, let's just say, save on the budget, because, you're not going to have CG on every single scene, because that's just going to cost an absolute fortune. But I mean, I quite enjoyed it. And, like you say, maybe Netflix will bring it back for a third season. They done it with Lucifer. And,
and that was really good. I enjoyed Lucifer.
That was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed Lucifer. That. Yeah.
So, in terms of like recent streaming, so as I said earlier, like me and my partner, we like 90% of the stuff that we watch, we don't watch together because I like a lot of superhero stuff. She does not. There's some big budget stuff that we can both enjoy. There's certain things that we'll watch. So we recently started watching The Rig, which I'd not got into before. We're about halfway through season 2 now. I'm quite enjoying it. I still don't know what it is about the show, but there is something about it that's keeping me watching it. There's a lot of actors in it that you kind of feel like there's a good lot of them that have just been like turfed out from like the Game of Thrones alumni. It's like like you got like Ian Glenn, Owen Teague. There's a fair few, and Martin Compston from Line of Duty as well.
Right, okay,
which but it's good. It's a bit strange. It's there is a lot about like the natural world, and it's is it trying to reclaim the world? Is it trying to be allies with the humans? Then you also, just at the end of the first season, Mark Addy turns up, and he turns out to be an absolute bastard who wants to he wants to just take over everything. He wants to eliminate this potential threat. And I like Mark Addy. He's such a great actor. But we've been enjoying it. It's one of them shows that I purposely said that we got to pace it, because if we just storm through that whole series, you'll be like, oh, well, that was quick. We try and watch like 1, maybe 2 episodes a weekend, so then we still got something to go back to. Been enjoying it. In between, like my partner was watching something else on Netflix called The Mill, which is set around like the old cotton mills from like the 1800s.
Yeah, I think I've seen something about it, but I've not seen it.
Yeah. And as soon as that went, I was like, right, I'm out of here. I can't. The thing is that especially some of there was one episode of it we were watching, and I can watch some disturbing stuff, but when it's like stuff to do with like kids, especially like the child labor and what they were being put through at that time, I find it hard to watch stuff like that. I don't know. And then some reason on Saturday night, she just said, "Oh, should we watch Adolescence on Netflix?"
Oh, I've not seen it yet. Yeah, but
do you know what? It's the thing that I think I enjoyed more was the technical aspect, because
one shot. Yeah,
it's all shot, especially that first episode, how it's done. You almost forget that it's tracking just that one shot all the way through.
Yeah, it's like 1917. They do a lot of that in one shot and stuff. Yeah.
But you just imagine like the whole episode, from beginning to end. Like there's very little like camera trickery as well. You can see and you can see like there's probably actors that are running around like the background or something, like get themselves in position for the next bit, and then it's good. I mean, we've watched 3 out of 4 episodes. Episode 3 in particular, which was don't want to spoil it because it's still quite a new show. I know a lot of people are getting onto it, and a lot of people are really praising it. But the young kid in it, he is just so good in this show. He's so believable, and there's quite a conflict with there's one point he's like so nice and calm, he's so polite and everything, and then just all of a sudden he just becomes an utter little shit. He's screaming, he's crying, he's demanding all this stuff, and it's it's scary when you see someone that can just snap like that in their acting. He was good. He was so good. And like I say, anything to do with things like that, especially when it comes to like kids and that, I find really difficult to watch, because I don't know. Have you ever? I mean, I'm assuming, have you ever watched Black Mirror?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's one episode of that always got me, because I did not predict how the end was going to come out of it. There's an episode called Shut Up and Dance, where it's a guy who basically he does something stupid. He films himself. He doesn't film himself, but he masturbates in front of his computer, and someone's spying on him, and they said, "Oh, we've got a video of what you've been doing. Oh, we'll share it if you don't do like these certain jobs for us."
Yeah. New series comes out soon.
Yeah. Oh, that's only a few weeks away as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. But the ultimate end of that episode is because because there was one point to me, I was watching this, I was thinking, okay, well look, it probably is embarrassing, the idea that you got caught doing that, but surely there are worse things that you could have been caught doing. And it was just there was the one line between this other guy who was also being manipulated, and he goes, what was it you were caught doing? And then the guy goes, so was it such and such? So you go, was it kids? I thought, what the fuck? That just made me feel sick. I was what? Yeah.
Animal cruelty and in films and things like that just sort of gets me. Just ironically, I the hypocrisy. I'm a meat eater and stuff, but obviously I'd hope there's humanity, but like I just can't see it. It just makes me feel sort of like it's animals in films really gets me and stuff. Like, it's just, there's a I remember actually we did a podcast afterwards, I think, but I watched it was years ago, been during lockdown, I think, and it was a dog's is it Dog's Tale? Is it basically? It's basically the one about the dog. It's basically about a dog who gets reincarnated. So every time he dies, he changes to a new dog and carries and trying to get to find his new master. But it's literally just this dog dying over and over and over again. And I was absolutely emotionally broken by the end of it. It was just horrendous. Like it's like the whole thing. Like, it's got this sort of nice ending to it, but it's like it is just this dog dying over and over and over, or dog dying over and over, and he gets abused and all this other stuff. And it's like, I've never cried so much in a film. It got to the point, like, afterwards, right? I turned around to my dog and I lay down beside him and I just hugged him for about 45 minutes, and I was just like, and he's just looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? But I was just like, I don't know if I could ever watch that film again. It was just like, it's not a bad film, it's just so sad. It's like, I can't do it.
I'll say there is certain stuff like that it does stick with you. It really does, hit you in a certain way. So it's not geeky or anything in any way. So I was watching there's been a comedy on Channel 4 the last few years called Big Boys. So it's a lot about this. So I think he's done other bits of writing anyway. Centers around a guy called Jack Rook. The story is all about when he was in university. He was coming out as gay. He was a bit scared to tell his family about it, and then trying to get through life. He meets a friend who is kind of the complete opposite of him. He's very outgoing, he's very life of the party, all this stuff. And it was one of them shows that I think the first episode I was like, okay, I mean, this is intriguing, there's some good stuff, and it goes quite depressing in certain places. There is a lot of upsetting stuff throughout. And then the final episode of it, which was only on a few weeks ago, the first 6-7 minutes of this episode absolutely broke me. It was one of them things that I was not expecting the direction it went in. And like, you got the two main characters interacting with each other. And it was just, I mean, there's still some laughs in that section, but there were certain bits that were just so upsetting once you finally learn the truth of like how the narration's going, because like the main guy, he's talking as if like he's talking to his best friend throughout the whole show. So he's going like, you always said this, you said, oh, we should be doing this, you thought it was a good idea to do, like, and then you realize, well, hang on, why is he talking to him like in the past tense? It was like, okay. And like I say, though, when you finally get to that point, it breaks you. It really does. It's very few times that I've really felt like that. But yeah.
It's like the episode of Scrubs where Dr. Cox is talking to...
Brendan Fraser's character.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's character. And it turns out he's been dead all along and stuff. And it's just
do you know what? That honestly surprised me when I watched that.
Yeah.
I did not expect that at all. But they did say there is a thing, ain't it? Because... at the beginning of the episode, he's believed to be alive because he's got his camera.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time, he hasn't got the camera.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and I was like, oh, crap. When I rewatched it after hearing that, I was like, oh. And you start noticing things around them. Like, it's like, yeah, I can kind of see now how, that could easily get missed. And yeah.
Yep.
God.
Right. Jon Jo, I can't spend the ages tonight because I need to go in. The missus has given me my marching orders. But we have a special quiz section tonight. We have a opposed quiz section. I've got one for you. You've got one for me.
Yeah, this is different because I'm not normally getting asked questions. So this is going to be.
I thought it'd be a bit of a treat for you. I doubt you. I think they'll be very easy for you, but I put some thought into it and stuff. So I'm gonna do mine first. Get them out of the way, because I think you'll probably blast through them quite easily. You give me 3 topics. You give me Marvel, you give me Blackadder, and you give me Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Yeah.
What is the topic you've picked?
They are all Blackadder.
Oh, okay.
They're all Blackadder. Yeah, so I think you're kind of because Blackadder I know quite a fair bit about, and a big fan of the history side of things as well. So, but you got Blackadder, and it's all going to be from Blackadder Goes Forth. So it's all condensed into one sort of thing, right? So your first there's going to be no multiple choice though. It's just
why is it as soon as you say Blackadder Goes Forth, the first thing I think is I want to make you happy, darling. I want to. Oh God, go on. Let's do this.
Okay. What year in Blackadder Go Forth do they go over the top at the last episode?
Oh, 1917.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
The war is over 1914 to 1917.
Because it's because Darling gives the speech, and then Blackadder goes, "Nope, the war isn't over. They've just stopped shooting because we're about to go up.
Yeah.
Not even our men are crazy enough to shoot us."
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, one. All right. Talking about Darling. Darling was Darling wants to play cricket for a certain cricket club. What are they called?
Oh shit. Oh, this is annoying. And
I'll give you a bit of a hint. He wants to keep wicket for them.
Do you know, Joe? It's really annoying. It's gone out of my head. No, Joe, I'm completely out of that one. No.
Okay. The Croydon Gentleman.
Do you know what? It's really annoying because there's so many things on Blackadder Goes Forth I could think of straight away off the top of my head, but that one just was not. Nah.
Okay.
Croydon Gentleman. Yeah.
I'll give you a sort of bonus part to that question. Within that part of the speech, which says keep wicket for the Croydon Gentleman. Who is he going to marry?
And Doris.
Doris, yeah, marry Doris, marry Doris, and just because there's a third part to it as well. What does he write in his diary before he comes?
Yes, yes. I wrote one word. Bugger. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. I was so annoyed I couldn't remember that bit.
It's all in the same part. Yeah, it's all the same part. Yeah. Okay. Final question. What is the name of General Melchit's pigeon?
Speckled Jim. Oh,
very good.
Those some good questions. I'm so annoyed I didn't get Croydon Gentleman. That's still going to annoy me. But yeah,
I'll give you 2 3/4 for.
Yeah, good. All right, okay. So out of your one, so you picked Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, or Warhammer. Let's be honest, I was never going to do Warhammer because I don't know anything about it. So I've gone with Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Okay, so question number 1. In the books, how old is Frodo when he leaves the Shire to destroy the ring?
He's in his 50s.
I'll give you that.
He's 50. I want to say he's 55.
Well, I'll give it to you 50s because he is apparently 50.
He's on 50
when he goes to destroy the ring. Yeah, so yeah, I'll give you that one. Yeah,
because with Gandalf, the time taken is like 23 years or something between when he leaves. And he comes back,
yeah. So that's what I mean. There's some weird time jumps in that original book, which was strange to me. Okay, question number 2. What color does the sword Sting turn when orcs are nearby?
Blue.
It is blue. Yes. Right. Question number 3. To access Moria, what word needs to be spoken in Elvish?
Bello. Means friend. Speak friend.
It is friend.
Seek friend and enter. Bello.
That is it. Matt, 3 out of 3.
Boop, 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 boop.
Wow.
I was trying to think of another one for like I kind of went down it. There was another one from Blackadder, the second one, right? What's the chat up line that he gives the Queen? So he gives the Queen. So there's a chat up line. He says, "Life without you is like a."
Oh shit! Do you know what? Blackadder 2 is probably the one I've watched the least.
Because I've used the chat up line before, so I was just like, "Life without you, my lady, life without you is like." A broken pencil, like a broken pencil.
Oh,
Pointless.
Pointless. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that one now. Yeah. Oh God, Joe, I honestly couldn't think. But do you know, I think the one I've watched the most is from Blackadder the Third, the election episode.
Yeah.
In particular. So especially was it Ivor Biggin, standing in the back dressed stupid, acting stupid party.
Yeah.
That's that always gets me, that bit. It's when he goes through his key pledges, he goes, yes, I understand the mandatory asparagus and such and such. What's this stuff about abolition of slavery? Oh, we put that in for a joke. See you next year. I was like, it's so bad, but it's so funny at the same time. Yeah, God.
Right, so I get a win then. I get a win for the week.
You do get a win. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Even more insulting, it's a win against me.
But I have beaten the quiz master. You're gonna kick yourself because that Croydon gentleman part.
Well, let's put it this way. I've got pub quiz tomorrow night. So if anyone is listening, I am a master. I just had a lapse tonight. That's all. A slight lapse.
Well, Jon Jo, it's a pleasure as always, my friend. We'll try and do it. Like we always have a guest and stuff, but Pete's quite prolific when it comes to getting us guests, which isn't a problem. But it's good to have a few, just a chat now and again.
The problem is with some guests, you try and get people in, and like I've had messages that I've sent out, and people go, "Oh yeah, get back to me in such and such amount of time," and then you get back to them, and they go, "Oh no, message me again in like 6 months or whatever."
Yeah.
I won't say who it is, but there is a certain creator of co-creator of a sci-fi sitcom who has, at least on 3 or 4 occasions, sent me the message, "Oh, message me again in 6 months."
Oh, okay.
And every time I've messaged him again, he's just sent the same message. And eventually, on the 4th or 5th time I messaged him, he just said, "I'm not going to be able to do it. I do apologise." Like,
you could have just said that in the very start. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought, and I didn't. It wasn't like I was particularly going back to him, but it was just as I looked through my messages, I was like, "Oh yeah, I messaged so and so." I'm not going to say his name because if he ever does agree to come on one day, if something else ever happens, I would not really want to be holding that story against him. But anyway, yeah.
You made us wait X amount of years to get you on here. But yeah, cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. For tonight, I have been Matt Geary, and with me has been my co-host, Jon Jo Cosgrove.
And a pleasure as always.
Good night, everybody.